Welcome everyone to another episode of Kerbal Realism. Today, this is Season 2, yes, Episode 2. And today, like I promised in the last episode, we are going to be doing some contracts. So what I did is I handpicked out a couple of these contracts out, and they are in our active contracts. What I want to do today is I want to set a new altitude record. I want to test fuel booster, the one we've used, I think in the last episode we used this. Test the stack decoupler and the launch stability enhancer, all while landed at Kerbin. Now, I'm actually going to do all three of these in a very fun manner, I do believe. I just built a rocket that will do it fairly simply, and I haven't tested it yet. I'm hoping that it works. And then we'll set the altitude record after that. So let's go ahead and jump into... we'll just jump into here. We'll just do the contains experimental parts. See, okay, so I went to the launch platform here, and I picked the Contractor 2, which we used Contractor 1 last time, and I did not save it, but it was a very simple ship. And it has experimental parts. Now that's because, let me show you what Contractor 2 looks like. Here's the Contractor 2. It's a little bit wonky. The experimental part is the launch stability enhancer. So whenever you take a contract that wants you to test a part that you actually don't currently own, it gives you an experimental version of it, and you get to use it for until you completed that contract. So we actually have the launch stability enhancers before we actually can use them officially. So we are going to try to do all three contracts at once, which is use this, and use this while at launch. I've actually added a couple more mods in between my recordings. So I don't know if you noticed that with my right-clicking. I added the tweak scale mod, which is used for Kerbal attachment system, but that's a different story, I guess. No, actually, it's not Kerbal attachment system. I think it's used for... What is it used for? Oh yeah, Infernal Robotics. So anyways, we are going to try to shoot just this rocket without anything on the top of it up into the atmosphere. It will use the decoupler, it will use the launch stability enhancers, and it will use the actual rocket all at the same time, and hopefully up in this top right hand corner we get all three of our check marks. So let's go ahead and just turn that on, and we're gonna try this in 3, 2, 1, go. Oh yeah, we did. Look at that, all three check marks. 1, 2, 3, and I can't see it. There it goes, and out into space it goes. Ooh, it blew up. I wonder why it blew up. Maybe it was going too fast. Oh, that's probably what happened. Well, anyways, now what we can do is just recover this all, and we get all of the money back from this, and we now have 23 science. So before that we had 7.1, I think. Now we're at 23.1. So I recovered that. Cool, I got the parts from the ship. I don't have any science on that one, and I did recover Jeb. I only have 108 reputation. That's kind of weird. I'm used to seeing bigger things. Cool. And, okay, so we have 23 science. I wonder if we can unlock anything. No, we need 45. So our next contract that we want to complete is set the altitude record of 1100. So, 11 kilometers. That's pretty significant with the parts that I have. Now, the reason why it's going to be fairly difficult to do this is because of aerospace. It really makes controlling your rocket in atmosphere fairly difficult. We gotta get our parachute going. I don't think we need any of... Actually, I want one of these. I want a flight computer, like always. Cool. We are just going to stick a rocket on and hope for the best. We want to get a decoupler, though. As you can tell, though, since we completed that contract, we don't have the launch stability enhancers. So we are going to have to figure out how to do this without them, of course. I wonder if the LV-909 would work. It does. Perfect. Oh, that's going to get us almost into orbit if we wanted to. And I think that can be it. What I want to do, though, is I do want to add some winglets on just for funsies. We will, of course, be recovering that stage. And hopefully it will automatically recover. This have no cost, so we're going to get the radial parachutes. Been playing Mario or something recently. Cool, and I think that'll be it. It's a $6,000 launch with a, like, barely even that payout, but I think I'm going to be able to recover majority of the parts other than the fuel. So the fuel isn't that expensive, as you can tell. The biggest difference, it's about 200 monies for liquid fuel, and about 100 monies for, actually only about 50 monies for the oxidizer. So about $250 I should be losing, or monies I should be losing. Use your brains. Okay, we're gonna go ahead and launch this thing. And I think I got all my controls working today. So we'll have actual flight control of this thing. It's a little teeny rocket. Okay, we are going to set our throttle to about there, and then slowly increase it until we get a little bit of lift here. There we go. Ooh, just about maximum. This rocket, this nozzle is obviously not the best thing for this application, but it does have a 2-minute burn time with this amount of fuel, which is great. And since it is at max and just about 1G, it's not going to be that hard to adjust our throttle to keep our speed down so we don't explode in the atmosphere. We might be able to even escape the atmosphere with just this setup, but don't know if I want to do that just yet. Don't know if I'm confident enough to do that just yet. And this specific rocket, this rocket nozzle, or the engine, does not provide electricity, so that's something I definitely need to be keeping an eye on, is our electricity use if we were to go into orbit. The Kerbals need electricity to survive with the mods that I have installed with TAC Life support. I am not entirely recording this episode right after the last one. It's actually been quite a few days since I recorded the last episode. I haven't been really able to record since then. I don't record when there's noises in the house. I don't record when there is anybody else in the house that could be talking, or I could be talking over a conversation that we're having on the phone. So whenever there's a long period of time that there's somebody in the house, I tend to not record for a while. So I like to do like recording sessions, more or less. So I'll get all the games, all the things that I want to record all at one time, and do them all at one time. I did the weekly drive, though, in a really short time span. I think it was on Saturday. It wasn't that bad of a recording session. So look at that. Yeah, we just beat our altitude record. We are currently at 13,000, 14,000 feet. And we could even escape the atmosphere potentially if we went straight up with this rocket, I think. Let's see what our orbital mechanics are. Oh yeah, look at that. Our height will be 23,000 or 24,000. Now I don't want to go too high, mostly because heat effects play a big role at those heights. Just want to go to the right a little bit. Okay, so what I'm going to do is just allow this thing to kind of settle itself out, and we will start to descend, hopefully. Okay. Now, The issue I'm going to have is trying to get this thing to slow itself down, because right now it's basically a missile. And it, because of its aerodynamic qualities, it will not want to spin around very easily. Let's see if I can get this thing to rock back and forth enough to get me to my retrograde vector. Nope, it's not going to let me get there. The atmosphere just got a little bit thicker, and the winglets are stopping me from spinning it around, which is actually a good thing in respect. But I do want to slow ourselves down a little bit. We are entering the thicker part of the atmosphere, so we should be able to slow ourselves down. We are going to go ahead and jettison the back, flip ourselves over. Ooh, something fell off with that one there. And open up our parachute. Ooh, a couple things fell off. There we go. There goes our parachute. Ooh. Man, that stuff just plummeted. I just want the engine mostly. And those back. Sweet. It's exciting. And so we got... Ooh. Something was destroyed. A winglet was destroyed. I love stage recovery. It tells me everything. Winglet was destroyed, and another winglet was destroyed. But we got our contract, and our launch stability enhancer contract was done. That was from before. So let's just go ahead and clear all these out. Yep, cool. Do we ever do a crew report from here? Yes, we did. And I know you've already done the EVA and such. So let's go ahead and get this, and then we're going to recover that other piece so we can get the money back from that. Because we don't have any science from this. We got a little bit of money back because the parachute is expensive, and the command pod itself it is. We're going to pick up our debris. Let's go ahead and recover that and get our monies back. Oop. Okay, it didn't work the way I was expecting it to. But I think it did. We'll have to see. So let's go ahead and jump into here and figure out... Oh, we can get a new altitude record, so we will get that one. It never expires, so that's a great thing. We can do... we can test out these. These are... Whenever it says landed at Kerbal, this is basically build it onto your rocket and use it. We will use these. We get 14 science. We're doing as many of these contracts as we can, just so we can get to the stability node in the science. Flight and flight and flight and flight and flight. Orbiting and flight. Okay. So we need to reach a new altitude record and also use the Mark 55 radio mounted liquid engines. So let's go ahead and jump into there and try that. There they are. I was wondering which ones they were. Now what would that give us? Not very much. We'll have full throttle control on those, but it won't get us very high. What I think I'm going to do is just use a bigger tank, or use another tank. And so we can get to our proper altitude that we want to get at. This thing does not seem very stable now, but it will be perfectly fine. And what I want to do probably is add our retro boosters, because we did have issues last time. We will, just because I'm not really confident in this system, we are going to move these. put the winglets on corners here. There we go. And let's see. Yeah, we're gonna put retro boosters on like this. So those should fire when we separate. Now that will slow this part down before the parachutes go out, and that's kind of what I'm hoping it for to do. Cool, and we'll put them just right around there. I think that'll work. I think that's all we can do for now. I don't have any control surfaces, so let's go ahead and just try this out. Hopefully we can get to 33,000 feet. Actually, you know what? I'm going to guarantee that we get to 33,000 feet. Don't know if that's a guarantee. It's a guarantee in my books. Let's go. And lift off. Decent burn time here. What we're going to try to do is not look at it from that angle. Yeah, what we're going to try to do is just kind of bring this thing as high as possible. Don't angle any direction. I don't want to angle at all. But what I want to do is just try to grab my apoapsis height above 33,000 before we shut these engines down, or before they have to shut down because of lack of fuel. And then what we'll try to do is in the ascent, in the ascent we will hit the decoupler, so that when we come back down to Kerbal we don't have that humongous mass behind us on the descent, so we can just have the flat surface of the command pod kind of pushing us up, or sorry, pushing the air pushing against it, slowing us down a little bit faster. Come on, we can get there. Oh yeah, we can definitely get to the right height that I wanted to. So yeah, I love this game so much because of all these functions that we can do. We're already at 11,000 apoapsis, which is great. I'm just going to go ahead and punch it now that we're out of the thickest part of the atmosphere. And just watch this thing slowly tip over, because once that atmosphere thins out a little bit, the control kind of starts to go away. But our apoapsis will get about 40. There we go, that's perfect. And I'm going to cut ourselves out of this now as best as we can. Okay. And what we'll do is we will allow stage recovery to do this for us. And ready for it, and this thing's going to just kind of go away from us. And right about here. There it goes. That was cool. So stage recovery is going to recover that debris for us. It has enough parachutes for it to do that, for that to function to go into play. Now, what I'm going to try to do is hope for the best for it. We are going to just time warp, time warp. It should still be ascending, I think. No, it's not. Cool. And we will descend best we can. Cool. And I think stage recovery picked this up for us. Stage destroyed. Man, that was a lot of money we just lost. We should have added more parachutes to that. Yeah, so whenever you lose a stage, basically what needs to happen is it needs to be less than 12 meters per second when it reaches the ground. So apparently we didn't have enough, what is that thing called? Parachutes on the actual rocket itself. So when it impacted the ground, we are going to make sure that we don't die here before I explain this. yeah, before it impacted the ground, what happens is it runs like a simulation, figuring out how fast it would be going when it impacts with the amount of parachutes fully deployed, etc. So once it gets out of a certain vision, I think that's it. No, that's our shadow. Yeah, once it gets out of our loading distance, it does the calculations for us. And because I have laser systems installed, I think it's actually hindering my stage recovery a little bit, because once a stage gets in the atmosphere out of 2.5 kilometers away from you and it's descending, it should automatically pop out of your out of loading, just so the game doesn't load its physics along with yours. Now, laser systems allows for physics to be drawn out to a larger distance, and so what happens at that 2.5, when it gets unloaded, stage recovery takes over, and then it chooses whether or not that stage landed correctly. I'm assuming laser systems is causing hindrance, but we'll see. So that stage needed to be less than 12 meters per second. It would have landed at 13.1, so it considered it an explosion and death, and it probably would have been at that speed if we actually watched it hit the ground. And we are here. Awesome. But we did complete our contract, which gave us a huge amount of reputation and money. So, and also we did test out the radial engine, so we got some science, a little bit of reputation, a little bit of money. And we are going to see if we have a crew report from this place. No, we do not. Let's go ahead and EVA. Oh, we are still at the shores, that's why. Oop. EVA. Let's see if we have a EVA report here. No, we do not. That means we probably also don't have a surface sample. Surface sample, 9 science. Awesome. And there we go. Cool. So we're going to... I love how I can just turn off Kerbal Engineer. It's great. So we are done with that. It is... We got 12.9 science on that recovery. We got a little bit of money. We are 58,000. And there's our crew. So the next big step is almost atmosphere leaving. So what I want to do before we end up getting to that point is spending our monies, or our science, on some launch control or some flight control. Sorry, launch control is a big thing for me. So these radial decouplers, these stability enhancers, no, not really bad. Also struts, not entirely needed for what I want to do, but I would like these tanks. But the most important thing right now is the reaction wheels, actually. They are going to... reaction wheels and these winglets, or the stabilizers, depending on which ones I feel like using. They are going to allow me to actually escape the atmosphere as fast as I possibly can. And the reason why I would need to get out as fast as possible, as stably as possible, is because when I'm in the atmosphere and I do not have any of these control surfaces, I tend to flip, or it goes end over end. So we just unlock that node. So what I think I'm going to do is I'm going to end the episode here. Next episode, we will be building a rocket that will be able to complete this contract, along with completing this contract, along with completing this contract. So we are going to try to escape the atmosphere, orbit Kerbin next episode with a rocket, and then try to re-enter safely, along with hopefully re-entering our stages and recovering them all with parachutes. And yeah, I think that's going to be it. So thank you guys for watching. I do enjoy this series a lot, and I'll see you next time. Bye.